Have you ever wondered who are you truly? Are you merely this body, this mind, this fleeting collection of thoughts and desires? Or is there something deeper, something eternal within you, waiting to be discovered? What if everything you have believed about yourself, all your limitations, all your fears, were nothing more than a trick of the mind? What if right here, right now, you could wake up from this dream and realize that you're not what you think you are, that you are something far greater, far more magnificent? Can you imagine the moment when you realize you have been deceived by your own delusions for lifetimes, only to wake up and see that you have always been free, always been pure, always been infinite? This is not just a question, dear seekers. It is the greatest mystery of life. And Ashtavakra, in this verse that I am going to share with you today, is inviting you to solve it. He is inviting you to see through the illusion and realize the vast, boundless truth of who you are. Dear seekers, sit with me today as we dive into the depths of this profound verse from the Ashtavakra Gita. The words might seem simple at first glance, but they carry the weight of an eternity of realization. This profound verse is an explosion of truth, and not just any truth, a truth that can turn your entire life upside down, or better yet, right side up. The verse goes like this: Aho niranjane shanto bodoham prakatev paraha etavantam aham kalam mohe neva vidambitaha. Let's begin with this exclamation, Aho, which in itself is a thunderclap of astonishment. It is the sound of someone who has just woken up from a long, long dream. It is not just a word, it is the sound of realization. It is the sound of someone who has just seen through the veil of delusion. Imagine someone waking up from a nightmare, gasping for breath, and realizing that it was all just a dream. This is the same gasp of realization. Ashtavakra in this verse is not teaching us something new. He is expressing the pure joy of realization. He is simply expressing the joy of seeing what has always been true. Now, the words Niranjana Shanta mean I am pure, I am peaceful. What is this purity that Master Ashtavakra speaks of? This purity is not of this body. This purity is not of the mind. It is not a purity that can be stained or tainted. It is the purity of consciousness itself. This purity, dear seekers, is untouched by the dirt of the world, the suffering, the chaos. Shanta means peace. It is the natural state of this consciousness. It is the peace that is not disturbed by the storms of life. You can lose your job. Your relationships may fall apart. Your body may age and decay. But this peace remains untouched. It is not dependent on circumstances. It is intrinsic. It is the very nature of your being. And here is where the story of Zen master Huangbo comes in to illustrate this beautifully. Once, a disciple came to Master Huangbo, desperate for answers. He had been meditating for years, seeking enlightenment, but he still felt as if he was far from the truth. He said, Master, I've tried everything, countless techniques, meditation practices, austerities, but I still don't feel I have awakened. Please guide me, Master. What should I really do? The master Huangbo looked at the disciple and then raised his stick and struck him sharply on the head. The disciple, stunned, shouted, Why did you hit me? Huangbo replied, Why are you asking? You are already the Buddha. There is nothing to seek, there is nothing to achieve. You have been deluded by your own efforts, thinking enlightenment is something to be gained when it is your very nature. So you see, just as Wang Bo's strike was meant to shock the disciple into realization, Ashtavakra's exclamation is a call for us to awaken to our divine conscious nature. The story perfectly mirrors the essence of Ashtavakra's words. The disciple had spent years searching, struggling, believing he was far from enlightenment. We too believe that we are separate from our divine conscious nature. We live in a state of delusion, thinking we need to do something, meditate more, learn more, achieve more to realize who we are. But Ashtavakra and Huangbo both tell us the same thing, which is that you are already that. The truth is not something to be found or achieved, it is already your nature. Now, Ashtavakra takes it further with the next line, Bodoham Prakritef Paraha. What does this mean? It means I am awareness beyond nature. And this is not just any awareness. This is not the awareness that comes and goes, not the awareness that fluctuates with your thoughts and emotions. This is the eternal awareness. This is the awareness that is the witness of everything, of nature, of the body, and of the mind. Now look at your life. You are born, you grow up, you experience joy, sorrow, success, and failure. All these things come and go. But haven't you noticed that there is something within you that remains the same throughout? Something that was there when you were a child, something that is still here now, and something that will be there when you take your last breath. That is this awareness, dear seekers. That is Bodoham. I am that awareness. When Ashtavakra says Prakritev Paraha, he is pointing to the fact that you are not bound by nature. Nature means Prakriti. It is the world of form, it is the world of birth and death, it is the world of change. But you, the real divine conscious you, are beyond all that. You are the awareness in which nature appears and disappears. Nature is a temporary dance, but you are the stage on which this dance happens. The dance comes and goes, but the stage remains unchanged. Just as a stage remains steady amidst countless performances, your divine conscious nature remains constant despite the ever changing scenes of life. This is your true nature, dear seekers. The stage, the witness, the eternal consciousness. And then Ashtavakra laughs, saying, Eta vantam aham kalam moheneva vidambitaha. For so long, I have been deluded. For so long, I have believed that I am this body, I am this mind, and I am these emotions. I have been fooled by my own ignorance. I have been fooled by my own delusion. And now I can't help but laugh at how absurd it all was. This is the cosmic joke, dear seekers. You spend your whole life believing that you are small, believing that you are bound, that you are limited. You suffer, you strive, you chase after desires, you run away from fears. But the whole time you have been free. The chains that you thought were binding you were never real. They were illusions created by your own mind. And when you finally wake up, you can't help but laugh at the absurdity of it all. It's like the Zen story of Master Rinzai, which further illustrates this realization beautifully. One day, a disciple came to Master Rinzai, troubled and seeking liberation. The disciple said, Master, I feel so bound, I feel so constrained by my attachments and desires. How do I free myself from them? Rinzai looked at the disciple and asked, Who is binding you? The disciple paused, searching for an answer. After a long silence, he realized the absurdity of his own question. He laughed, bowed deeply to the master, and left enlightened. There had never been any real bondage. He was only bound by his own illusion. Master Rinzai's disciple realized that the only chains binding him were those he created in his own mind. This is the realization, dear seekers, that Ashtavakra points to. We have always been free. The chains of ignorance that seemed so real were nothing but shadows. Like the disciple, we are caught in the illusion of bondage, thinking that something outside needs to be done to achieve freedom. But in truth, there is nothing to free ourselves from because we were never bound to begin with. This awakening, dear seekers, is the cosmic joke that Ashtavakra laughs at. The joke that we have been searching for freedom outside when all along we have been free within. This is why Ashtavakra starts with the exclamation, Aho! It is the laughter of realization. It is the joy of seeing through the cosmic joke. You have always been free. You have always been pure. You have always been the infinite consciousness. And yet, for lifetimes, you have been deceived by your own delusion, believing yourself to be limited, believing yourself to be bound. So, dear seekers, what is there to do? Nothing. Nothing at all. The moment of realization is not something you can achieve through effort. You cannot fight your way to enlightenment. Remember this. It is simply a moment of seeing, it is a moment of awakening. It is like waking up from a dream. The dream may have been intense, but the moment you wake up, you realize it was never real. Ashtavakra's words are an invitation to wake up. They are an invitation to see that you're not the storm, not the waves, but the vast, silent ocean underneath. The storms may rage, the waves may rise and fall, but the depth of the ocean remains unaffected. You've always been free, you've always been peaceful, and you've always been the pure, untouched consciousness. So, laugh with Ashtavakra, laugh at the cosmic joke, and in that laughter, you will find your true nature. Silent, peaceful, and infinite. Now, tell me, dear seekers, will you awaken to this truth and embrace the infinite peace within? The choice is yours. Aho, what a revelation!